Hello, everybody. I'm here today with Craig Spruill, founder of Playmaker Sports Management. Hey, Craig, welcome to this week's Business Spotlight.
Hello, Kelly. How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you taking time to spend some time with us today. Let's get right into the questions. Craig, tell me a little bit about your business, Playmaker Sports Management.
Well, what we are is we are pretty much boutique sports marketing firm. We work with athletes, various brands relative to things such as autograph signings, appearances, grand openings. In addition to that, we do event management as well. As a matter of fact, we're having an upcoming event during Super Bowl weekend. Actually, it's going to be a 2-day celebrity car show and cornhole tournament out in Glendale, Arizona. We're getting pretty good feedback, although we haven't formally announced it yet. We think it's going to be a great event. Predicated upon a number of factors such as the location. Super Bowl is the largest sporting event in North America. There will be a number of local car enthusiasts, in addition to people out of towners as well. And we also realized that cornhole has become a pretty popular event. So we thought that pretty much putting those things together, we are expecting a great turnout and a great event.
Excellent. Excellent. That sounds like a great event. So how long have you been doing this?
Wow. Well, actually, I've been in the sports management arena since 2005. I started out with Savage Sports Management over in Newport News, Virginia. My former boss, Ray Savage, he enabled me to, come into the business. He showed me the ropes, so to speak. Back then, I was doing quite a bit of recruiting out on the road during the fall, recruiting players regionally for the most part from the University of Virginia, Virginia Tech, East Carolina, University of Maryland. So my fall weekends would be filled pretty much going meeting with the guys out at their various games after the game, and their parents a lot of times as well. But with that being said, I transitioned to working with another agent. I worked with Savage Sports Management from 05 to 09. Then I transitioned to another agency, Angelo Sports West Football, Angelo Wright, which he's now the deceased. And Angelo, he was one of the more respected agents in the agent community. I mean, he had negotiated over $800 million worth of contracts. He started out doing marketing actually for with the San Francisco 49ers, many of their players in the late 80s, and he just pretty much kind of evolved from that. But both of the guys, Ray Savage and Angelo Wright, I learned a ton from them, and I met many people because of them as well. So with that being said, in 2009, I struck out on my own, so to speak, started Playmaker Sports Marketing. I started with doing camps for various players such as Percy Harvin, Brandon Banks, and a number of other players, doing events for guys like Allen Iverson, Cam Chancellor, autograph signings, as I stated before. And so we just grew from that. And then in 2014, I had the inaugural Adidas 757 high school all-star football game, and that ran for several years. It was pretty successful, as well. And we've been doing, things since then. And due to COVID, kind of like took a break because there weren't many events going on, so to speak. But we're regrouping, and on the calendar for next year, we have planned a number of things pretty much nationally. We're going to be doing things in various cities, which at this point I won't divulge or discuss, but we're pretty much going to have more of a national base, so to speak, moving forward.
Yeah, that sounds pretty exciting. So, Craig, who do you serve? I mean, really, who's your best customer? And we call that your target audience. I mean, who's the best clients for you?
They are actually the younger athletes. Those are our better clients. That's who we work with, for the most part, almost exclusively in terms of serving them, because it's geared towards the athletes. And now with the NIL, with that, having coming on the scene last year, we're pretty much doing our homework. We didn't just want to just dive into the NIL scene. So we've been doing our research, so to speak, and lining our ducks up in a row. So we're going to be in that market pretty soon with these college student athletes.
Okay, so younger athletes, so college athletes, high school athletes,
College, yes,
college.
college
So
student athletes, yes.
what's been the biggest issue you've had to overcome?
Some of the challenges, primary challenges as a smaller business has been at some points resources here and there, because I just basically started out, with meager beginnings doing this, and I'm just being honest and upfront. But I had to improvise, use the resources that I had, and I've been blessed. I must say that I've been able to tap into resources here and there. In addition to, I've encountered numerous people and brands that have helped me to facilitate our efforts along the way. And I'm very appreciative and thankful for that. Some of the local school systems in the Hampton Roads area, when they bought into the idea of the high school all-star football games, some of the coaches, the players, especially the parents. So that means a lot to me.
Yeah, so really building that community around you here in the locally in Hampton Roads. That's pretty awesome. When you were growing up, is this kind of something you always wanted to do?
Not necessarily sports management and marketing, but anyone that knows me from way back knows me well. From 5 and 6 years old, little league football, all the way up to Norfolk State. Football was my first love, my passion, and I majored in marketing in school. That's what I got my undergrad in, business management. And so I pretty much intertwined the two things that really piqued my interest. And because I knew once I finished playing at Norfolk State, I wasn't gonna play professionally, but it enabled me the opportunity to still be around and a part of the game. And what it's done from there is simply evolved into other sports as well. As I mentioned before, I've done things with Allen Iverson. Of course, he was an NBA player, but my point is it goes beyond the realm of football, beyond the realm of sports, I must say. And also, I've always felt that sports, since like sports mirrors life in so many ways. It
Yep.
transcends life, and there's so many things that you can learn being a part of a team that transcends to everyday life. The accountability, the effort, the commitment, all those things are characteristics and traits that we use in our everyday lives, or we have, I should say, in our everyday lives. And in addition to that, I've always felt that sports gives people hope, and people need hope, particularly in light of these past several years, and not simply nationally, but on a global scale. Because if you think about it, sports brings people together. People can come from various socioeconomic backgrounds, politics, religion, but one commonality a lot of times is the team that people support or they love, they enjoy watching. You just look at the stands in the game. So many people and who come from all walks of life, and that's what sports does. It just brings people together, and I love that about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said something, and we say the same thing. How you play sports and games is often a reflection of how you play life, how you are in life. So they do kind of mirror each other. So what's been your biggest learning since being a business owner?
To have to ensure that you have multiple alternatives on hand in case your plan A or plan B doesn't work. Because I once was a co-host of a radio show some years ago, and I would have on Tuesdays. This was during the football season. I would have various NFL players or college players and coaches, for the most part, college coaches, not players, but they will call in, and but sometimes they had to call in at a certain time. But then sometimes a guy would call like 45 minutes or text me, "Hey, Craig, I can't be on today. I can't make it." So then I would have to scramble to find another player. So that really kind of taught me to pretty much always be conscious and always be prepared, be proactive. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I learned about this. And I must say, being a smaller business, one of the advantages is it enables me much more of an opportunity to pivot, to adjust on the fly. There's no protocol, there's no chain of command that I had to adhere to or answer to. If I realize that something needs to be rectified, modified, or changed, I can do that on a whim, as opposed to having a board meeting. And so, that degree of fluidity, it I really feel like, as I said, it's advantageous to a smaller business.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to pivot and adapt and innovate when you need to is critically important. I mean, we saw that in COVID. If you couldn't pivot, if you couldn't innovate through that, you had a tough time. So what have you learned about yourself during your journey?
I learned that I'm resilient, I have drive, and this is really my passion. I love what I'm doing. And and I typically give people the analogy that that you love what you're doing is when you're working, for the most part, this is simply my opinion. I think that when a person is working a 9 to 5, they look forward to Friday getting off. Man, I can't wait to get out of here for the weekend, blah, blah, blah. And before you know it, it's Monday morning, get up, back, you doing it all over again. But when you're doing something that you love, I spent many Friday and Saturday nights at home on a computer, just going over things that I can do better, I can change, I can improvise on, and I can be up to 1 or 2 in the morning working on that because I really enjoy that. And that's just where I'm at.
What's the future look like for Playmaker Sports Management, and what do you see as the main challenges moving forward?
I think our future looks rosy. Also, we have a nice, pretty sharp partner, Jazzy Redu. She's helping out quite a bit, and we have big plans to, as I mentioned earlier, doing things more so on a national scale, different events in different places, pretty much being at a number of major sporting events across the country. And we're taking a look at dive, as I said before, dive not only into the NIL arena, but also esports as well, because there's some things that are really burgeoning and growing, such as pickleball. That's the fastest growing sport.
Yeah.
And esports tournaments. So, again, going back to what I said a few minutes ago, just having that degree of fluidity and being able to pivot. That flexibility, that's key and going to be essential moving forward.
Yeah.
So I think
absolutely.
we'll.
One last question. What advice would you give, or actually 2 questions, what advice would you give to anyone thinking of going into business?
I would say be resolute. Don't compromise your principles or integrity, because I have encountered some people who have not always done things the right way, but that didn't prompt me to do things in that manner. But in addition to that, just believe in yourself, as they say, quote unquote, bet on yourself. And opportunities are out here. Sometimes you have to dig a little deeper or look a little further, but it's a growing industry, the sports industry within itself. And it can be a great ride. There are going to be some challenges, as I think that we've all been subjected to at some point in our lives, but just persevere and don't give up.
Yeah, that's great advice. Great advice. So any offers or any messages you want to include in the newsletter?
Just know that Playmaker Sports is here, and we will be going in full effect very soon.
Excellent. So we'll have to watch out for that. So, well, Craig, that wraps up the interview. Nice job. Thanks so much for taking time with us today.
You're welcome. Have a great day.